Hi guys, what is up? Team Duelist Alliance 671. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've been waiting for. I'm just kidding. So, as you can see, this is the updated deck profile for the Blue Eyes, the new ban list. And this is the one that I got second place at my locals, and I'm very proud to represent Team Duelist Alliance 671 and the Guam the Guam Yu-Gi-Oh community. And yes, inventory is sanctioned. If I made if I'm not mistaken, you're all of you Guam folks, all of you Guam duelists, you're free to let me know if I said anything wrong. But without further ado, let's go and get started with the deck profile. As always, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, be a part of the notification squad, and let's get started. So I know you all have been requesting for this for a very long time. I do apologize for it being so long, and now it's here. And not only that, it has topped up my locals. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, we're running the OG artwork from the original Kaiba structure deck. The 3 copies of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, yours truly, the ultimate creature of destruction. Yeah, legendary dragon is powerful engine of destruction. I was thinking the trap card, in which we might actually be running in here. We'll go ahead and get to that. So sorry, I'm rambling. So to continue, the 3 copies of Blue Eyes and only 2 copies of Alternative White Dragon, Blue Eyes. And I agree with many people. 1's not enough, 3 is too many. So definitely you want to play 3 Alternative White Dragons. You notice it's different from other builds like the branded builds where you only run like 2 or 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon. I choose to run 3 because it's Kaiba, number 1. Number 2, you just really need the piece because how you can activate your Jet Dragon, how are you gonna summon your White Dragon alternative without the original Blue Eyes White Dragon. He's undoubtedly the backbone of the deck. And yeah, to continue, we run 2 copies of Mecha Blue Eyes White Dragon. Just kidding, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. This is very much the one that Kaiba wrote in the first Yu-Gi-Oh movie where he nearly defeated Yugi. If it weren't for the intervention of Anubis. So this one makes it where other cards on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. If he battles, he could, at the start of the damage step, he could target 1 card in the field, return to the hand. If a card is on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect in any way, you could special summon this card. So if anything gets blown up via Lightning Storm or Alternatives effect or even like True Light's effect, where they destroy monsters, like Eternal Soul, Blue Eyes could benefit off of Eternal Light, and that's coming from a Dark Magician player. So yeah, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon running 2 because there's a possibility you could bring out 2 of them, and it's Marauding Captain. In terms of having 2 of them out, you just make it where all of your cards cannot be destroyed by card effects. So like, it's a unique Marauding Captain log basically. And then Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. This one, if it's special summoned in any way, you just search for your polymerization from your deck to your hand. You could search for a ritual spell, but that's optional. And for the other effect, you could search for 1 level 5 or higher, what is it called? 1 level 8 or higher dragon type from your deck to your hand. Also, you could banish this card from the graveyard. All of your level 8 or higher dragons gain 1000 attack, and it's permanent, which is awesome. And also, you can only use each of these effects while Blue Eyes White Dragon is in your graveyard or your field. So, in which you'll mostly get Blue Eyes White Dragon in your graveyard anyway. So, like I said, this deck is centered on Blue Eyes. Why not run 3? So, 1 copy of Dragon Spirit of White. This came up a lot, especially when I was going up against Runic. It It's pretty much your Cosmic Cyclone for Blue Eyes. I still run one, and it's still very useful because you need that spell on Sharpshooter. Also, he has the second effect of where you contribute this as cost to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand if the opponent controls a monster. So there's a chance he could make a dodge like Impermanence or Effect Veiler and then bring out a free Blue Eyes. So super awesome effect. Then next, for the small dragons, we run 2 copies of Whitestone of Ancients. Rule of Arcana, 1's not enough, 3's too many, so we just run 2. And Arcana is the only character in the original anime you could think of where he ran 2 copies of the same card, which is Dark Magician. So, Rule of Arcana, so this one says if it's sent to the graveyard anyway, in the end phase you can summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck. Any Blue Eyes really, so any of these guys except Alternative White, because that one has to be summoned from your hand first. And yes, if you send multiples, like 2 of them in the graveyard at the same time, you can summon 2 of them. So you could bust out 2 of your Jet Dragon and make your field indestructible. Simple as that. And he has a recurring effect, banish at his cost. Target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon in your graveyard and return to your hand. Any Blue Eyes really. Yeah, its cost is to banish and then target a Blue Eyes in your graveyard. That's the full cost, then you return to your hand. Then what's the deck without the original Whitestone of Legend? This effect is very simple, like back in the days when Yu-Gi-Oh! Effects were only 1 sentence. Just kidding. When this card is sent to the graveyard, in any way you search for Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, and it's a mandatory effect. And then that's it for the dragon lineup. To continue, we run 3 copies of Sage of Eyes of Blue. We still run this one because you want to bust out your Jet Dragon, you want to bust out your Abyss Dragon to search for polymerization, you want to bust out your Dragon Spirit by discarding this card and targeting an effect monster, send it to the graveyard, then summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So all those Blue Eyes monsters, including Dragon Spirit, except Alternative White Dragon, you can summon from your deck. Also, he has a Stratos effect. When he's normal summon, you can search for any light tuner monster from your deck to your hand, and yes, you can search for Effect Veiler. To continue, we run 3 copies of Dictator of D. Anyways, Dictator of Dragon. This one says you could choose your opponent's monsters attack targets. So he has his name backed up there. He's quite the dictator during the battle phase. Also, as cost, you could send 1 Blue Eyes from your hand or deck to the graveyard to special summon this dude. And then, let's see. You could send 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon. You could discard 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand to the graveyard. It doesn't have to the graveyard. Discard 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon or card that mentions it. Any card that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon. Then you summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So if any of your fusions or synchros get destroyed or they're in the graveyard, you could just use this guy to resurrect your Blue Eyes. So he's pretty much the new Master of Eyes of Blue. I used to play Master of Eyes of Blue, but because of the new ban list with Hockey Fibrax on band, I can't really bust him out as well as I used to. So for now, I'm relieving him of duty. So Dictator Von Dragon will take his place for now. To continue, the last of the monsters, 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I used to run this at 1, now I bumped it up at 2, sorry the glare, because the fact that you're dealing with so many monster effects, you want to get this lady out in the field, in your hand, and then you could negate a face-up monster effect. You could negate the effects of 1 face-up monster that this card targets, and you can only activate during the opponent's turn, but that's fine. That's pretty much the original Impermanence. And yes, she's a girl. I looked it up carefully. So also she's a tuner, so if you want to go for your Blue Eye Spirit Dragon or Relinquish Shanma or Linkuriboh, you got your Effect Veiler. So that'll be it for the monster lineup. Let's go into the spells. We run 3 copies of Trade-In. I got the secret rares for you guys. This deck is almost blinged out. Gotta work on 1 more trap card and then we're good. Then you know what that is. discard a level 8 monster as cost, and then draw 2 cards. The center, draw a card, Blue Eyes, and the only draw card you need. Trust me. 3 copies of Melody of the Awakening Dragon, because the rest is just like search cards and jailbreak cards. You discard 1 card as cost, and then you search for quotations monsters with Blue Eye stats, meaning if it has more than 3,000 attack and less than 2,500 defense. So Blue Eyes or any stats similar to it. Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, Chaos Emperor Dragon like in the anime, and even Chaos Dragon Levianeer. The reason why I don't run Levianeer here is because it's a pure engine. I don't really want to banish my Blue Eyes, and I feel it's best in a Dragon Link deck, or even a Red Eyes Link. That's just me. So to continue, 1 copy of Bingo Mishingo. This one's pretty much in a way part of Duality, but not exactly. I would actually compare this to Pantheism of the Monarchs. So you could reveal 3 Blue Eyes cards in your 3 Blue Eyes monsters in your deck, or any spell and trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in its text. That's correct. And then the opponent chooses 1 of them to go to your hand at random, and then the rest shuffle back to your deck. So this is pretty much your Pantheism of the Monarchs, but unlike Pantheism, you can only use this like a hard once per turn, and you only need 1 anyways. So, and you can always search for this or set this with True Light. So that's why we still play it in here. We'll get to that soon. 1 copy of the big one, Ultimate Fusion. I was gonna play Super Polymerization in here, but my brother and I were talking about it. Like, you don't really need it, and I was wondering why he would say that, and I thought Ultimate Fusion. So this one says I could fuse with during the main phase, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from my extra deck that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as material by shuffling the fusion materials listed from hand, field, and or graveyard to the deck. Then you could destroy face-up cards the opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragons or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons used on the field as materials. So you want to at least get 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon out, or even set it, and then you could fuse with all the Blue Eyes you need from your hand, field, or graveyard, and then you could potentially destroy at least 1 face-up card in the field, non-targeting, and it's a spell effect. So this one shot down a lot of Mystic Minds, and I was able to OTK from there. It was insane. So to continue, we also ran the original Polymerization, because nothing beats the original fusion card. We all know what this does. You just fusion summon a monster if you got the materials in your hand or on the field. Simple as that. A very excellent card, and probably won't die down anytime soon. 1 copy of Return of the Dragon Lords. You target 1 level 8 or level 7 dragon in your graveyard, special summon it from the graveyard. Only 1, because like there's like Goddess that negates stuff, that spells that or effects that negate or that special summon a monster from the graveyard. That, and you just need 1 because you have like Bula ways to special summon your dragons. And it does have that protection effect where you banish it and it prevents your dragons from being destroyed at all, basically, from a source like Lightning Storm. But you have Jet Dragon anyways, so this is mainly to protect the Jet Dragon when you already have it on the field. That way it's not destroyed too. Then 1 copy of Monster Reborn, because it's Monster Reborn. It's Blue Eyes. You always have a target for this one. If they get rid of your Ultimate Dragon or your Tyrant Dragon or your Spirit Dragon, you could just bust them out again of Monster Reborn and then watch their jaw drop because they spend many resources trying to get rid of your Ultimate Dragons. To continue, 1 copy of 1 for 1, because you know it's 1 for 1, and you have so many level 1s in this deck. You could just send any monster from your hand to the graveyard and then special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck. So if you want to get around with Ash Blossom of this one, just summon from your hand. They can't Ash it at all. But I do just play it just to bait out Ash. This is actually Ash bait compared to how many ways you could summon Blue Eyes. It's crazy. So to continue, 1 copy of Dragon Shrine. You send a dragon from your deck to the graveyard. If it's a normal monster, you could send another dragon to the graveyard. Pretty simple effect. So it's right in the borderline between when effects were simple back then and when it started to become an entire reading assignment. But that's okay. That's how much the game has evolved, and I'm greatly pleased. One copy of Foolish Burrow. You send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. That's it. Then that'll be it for the spells, guys. Let's continue with the trap cards. Rerun 3 copies of Skill Drain. I'm gonna try to get one more copy of a hollow one, and then it's almost hollow. Promise. I promise. It's kind of hollow because it's normal rare, but it's up to me, I guess. 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. All Skill Drain, pay 1,000, all face-up effect monsters on the field have their effects negated. Simple as pie. Infinite Impermanence, if you have no cards in your field, you could activate this from your hand. You could target one face-up card on or face-up monster on the field, negate its effects, so it's pretty much effect failure in trap form. Only you could activate during your turn and the opponent's turn. If you control no cards in your field, and you could just activate it from your hand. If you set it, it's the same thing, but the column that it is in, it negates the spell trap zone of that same column. So this is the reason why everyone's careful where they place their spells and traps, and there is another monster that changed how they place their monsters on the field, and we'll get to that soon. As mentioned before, I run one Ultimate Creature of Destruction. I still like it because you could set it with reset it with Tyrant Dragon's effect, and it just has a really awesome effect where you target one Blue Eyes monster in the field. It is unaffected by card effects. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and I wouldn't try it because it whatever monster at battle, it is automatically destroyed. So you could spring it on the opponent as a surprise during a declare attack. You could save your Jet Dragon so he's not destroyed and everything else is not destroyed. The only Blue Eyes this cannot work on is Tyrant Dragon because it's unaffected by card effects, unaffected by traps, even your own traps. But that's perfectly fine because you want to protect your Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon or your Neo Blue Eyes. So to continue, the last for the traps, one True Light. This one's pretty much, as you guessed it, Eternal Sulfur Blue Eyes. You could activate the card itself, and your Blue Eyes White Dragons on the field cannot be targeted by card effects at all. By the opponent's card effects, that is. And you could summon a Blue Eyes from your hand or graveyard. This and Eternal Soul doesn't target. I found this out the hard way. So if they want a DD Crow where you're going to bring back from the graveyard, like your Blue Eyes White Dragon, they got to guess if they're going to summon the Blue Eyes from your hand or your graveyard. Otherwise, they're wasting a DD Crow. And also, it has another effect. You could set one spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon directly from your deck. So you mainly want to set like your Bingo Machine Go, your Ultimate Fusion. That's pretty much it, actually. And then that'll be it for the trap cards. Now let's get into the extra deck where it gets really spicy. Rerun one copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. It has a negate effect where you can negate one effect that activates in the graveyard. Is it any effect? Yes, it is any effect. So this is excellent against tier limits. You just aim for the right one and you negate it. You pretty much have a Skullmeister. And he has somewhat of a floodgate effect. The opponent cannot summon more than 2 monsters at the same time, so it kind of slows down Pendulum decks, but Pendulums are already slowed down. It is with the Master Roll 5, Modified Master Roll 4, how you want to state it. So something different, I'm not running Azure Eye Silver Dragon anymore. I'm running Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, because one, this is a good bouncer, because if this is special summon in any way or level 5 or higher monster summon, which happens a lot, you could target one special summon monster the opponent controls, bounce it to the hand. Good against Skystrike, it's good against Runic, and it's good against tier limits because you bounce the fusion back to the hand instead of it going to the graveyard, and it triggers a bajillion other effects. So those are the only synchro monsters we run. That's all we need, trust me. Then another bouncer, the Super Dragon Balls, Erratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. Contribute one monster from your hand or your deck. You return one face-up card in the field back to the hand. A non-targeting, very good effect. It was an answer for Dragoon back in the days when every single deck ran Dragoon. And it's still a good card because you just want to return the tier limit cards to the hand or to the extra deck instead of trying to put it in the graveyard. And if it's tributed in any way, even by its own effect, you can summon a blue, not just Blue Eyes, but any dragon from your hand or deck. And the attack and defense is 0, but that's fine because you have like really awesome effects to back that up anyways. Then we run one copy of Linkuriboh because it's a good defender. It helped me against Sky Strikers when they're trying to attack directly, because when they declare attack, you contribute Linkuriboh's cost, make the attack 0. I think we know that by now. Also has a quick effect, you contribute one level 1 monster in the field and then special summon it, so it could keep on using that effect. And they're each once per turn, each of those effects, but still it's cool. It's really, really cool. Actually, the negating, not really a negate attack, but the effect to tribute it as cost to have a monster's attacking monster's attack becomes 0. It's not once per turn. It's just the quick effect, which is a good move because you don't want to keep abusing that like with Scapegoat. So speaking of Link ones, one copy of Relinquish Anima. This is the reason why people are very careful where they summon their monsters in the main monster zone, because if you summon, here's a mat. So let's say if they summon a monster over there, you could link over here and then take their monster target. You equip that monster to this dude, and he gains the attack equal to that monster's current attack. I comboed that with Nibiru, and I took my own token because I summoned it in that zone. I made him like a bajillion times stronger, so he got a hulking Relinquish Anima. That'll make Pegasus proud. That was really close, by the way. The tournament today, I battled against Tier Limits, Tribigates. They were both formidable. Runics and Sky Strikers. I managed to barely win against Tribigates, barely win against Sky Strikers, and the Tier Limits and Runic had to tie me, basically put me in a draw, but a lot of people were getting ties, so I ended up making second place. Runic's making first, but that's okay. That's something very unique. I like Runics. I wouldn't mind running that one day. So Relinquish Anima for the awesome plays. Let's go to Exceed lineup. Shout out to Miguel. I run number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. This one's pretty much a walking monster negator. Who am I to compare it to other cards? Detach one Exceed material, negate activation of a monster's effect, and if you have Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as material attached to this card, you could destroy it. But as it stands, I don't run Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon yet. I'm still working on how I could work that in the deck. So for now, I have a generic monster negate, and it's my main answer for Nibiru. And I've been busting this out a lot actually to help with Flandries and Tribigates and even the Tier Limits. Then we just run the one number 38 Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Titanic. You're screwed now, Iceberg. Sorry, that's no joke, but any spell card that activates or any spell effect that activates, you could negate that effect and then you could attach it to 60 material. You can even negate face-up spells that are already on the field, like continuous or field spells, and you just attach it. So you could even negate the Darn Mystic Mine if they try to do that to you, and then you attach it so they don't try to reoccur it somehow. Then number 97, Draglubian, to accompany the Hope Harbinger to continue the rank gates. This one's just going to bust out the number 100 basically. Detach one, you can use this one as overlay material to bust out the number 100, and then if you're just going first, you can use number 100 as overlay material and then go into that. I'll show you what number 100 is later, but for now, let's continue with the rank gates. One copy of the Zombie Vampire. This one was a beast because I could detach one. So we both send the top forward from our deck to the graveyard, both me and the opponent. And then any monster that's sent this way could special summon it. And then any monster that you use as Exceed material, it's treated as a level 8. So that's insane. And very impressive. Yeah, any monster that was originally owned by the opponent, you could treat it as a level 8. That's insane. You can even play Change of Heart in here while you have this card in the field. I'm still working on adding that in. I might just tweak my side deck, but for now, I'll show you what I ran during the tournament today, the site that I had specifically. So to continue, we run one copy of Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus, Sky Thunder. We mainly use this with zombie vampires, so after we do that whole shebang, we attack. They are still alive, then that's fine. We just overlay into Zeus, because you have at least one more material on that, and then if all else fails, you could just blow up their board, and then you have ways to reoccur your Blue Eyes, like Blue Eyes Jet Dragon if something's destroyed by battle or card effect. Not that it'll activate with Zeus, but you know, just some for future references. Let me go and move everybody up. You have an idea what these guys are. So we run, as I mentioned, one copy of the number 100 Draglubion. So Draglubion is pretty much the one that gains 1,000 for each rank on the field, and as it stands, it's gonna mostly be him and him, so that's 9,000. There's another effect that happens and it does come up, like if they send your monsters from the extra deck to the graveyard. I like sending this dude because he has another effect. Let me just read it carefully. When the opponent monster declares an attack while this is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. I don't think you could do that though if it wasn't properly overlaid. Draglubion, let's see. Let me just read if it counts as Exceed summon. It says special summon, so unfortunately the ones that you special summon Draglubion doesn't count as an Exceed summon. Like if you go like this or summon Draglubion and attach, it's not an Exceed summon. But that's also cool because it goes around Dimensional Barrier if you really wanted to, but you just can't activate his effect. But that's fine, you could just do like this and you have a 3,000 beater. Okay, so another effect that I also saw is when this card is destroyed by card effect, you can destroy as many monsters in the field as possible, minimum 1. Then each player sets one spawn trap in the graveyard to the field. So that's another one. If they do manage to stop your OTK with this, they destroy it. You could just destroy all cards in the field, and then you could just reset your back row. Yeah, you just reset all your searchers basically, and your traps, which is insane. And then that'll be it for the Exceed, Synchro, and Link lineup. Let's go on and move to the Fusions, which is a different category altogether. One copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This beast is unaffected by trap cards. And when it battles, at the end of the damage step, you could target one trap in your graveyard and set it and forget it. Just kidding, don't forget it. So you could set your what's it called? Your Skill Drain if they destroy, your True Light if they destroy, and your Infinite Impermanence. That's why we run a handful of traps in here. We summon all of our fusions today, by the way. So we also summon and we run on Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. Sometimes you just fall short of that third Blue Eyes. So if you have at least 2, then you could go Twin Burst Dragon. You could attack 2 monsters. Any monster at battle, if it wasn't destroyed by battle, you could banish it instead and targeting. You cannot be destroyed by battle, so that's a good plus. And you can only have 1 of them on the field, so you can't have like 2 and then attack 4. That's why he's here. I also forgot that he could attack all of your opponent's monsters. So you have these 2 magnificent beasts. And then to continue, one copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I pulled off so many OTKs with this. It's still very possible, especially if you know how to combo with Ultimate Creature Destruction, because it says you only have to have no face-up cards in the field to activate this effect. You could have him attack, and then you could send a Blue Eyes Fusion monster from your deck to the graveyard to have him attack again. You could do this twice per turn. You could do it again and then attack. So that's a beast that could attack 3 times, 3 heads, like King Ghidorah. So he's the true Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon that can attack 3 times, basically. And then in contrast, we have Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. And just like him, if you use Alternative White Dragon as material, you could destroy up to 3 cards in the field instead of just 1 if you just use 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, which is cool. So you could just destroy 3 cards in the field, so it's like 1 head each destroying 1 card in the field, which is really insane. That's not the best part. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, or by battle. It cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects at all. You could still destroy it by battle, but good luck, because it's 4,500 attack. I know it happens. That's why we run Dictator Dragon to resurrect him, if anything. Okay, so that'll be it for the main deck. I'll go and just go through that'll be it for the main deck and extra deck. I'll go through the side really quick because we all know what most of these side cards do by now. So 2 copies in Nibiru. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, can't wait for Black Adam. It looks awesome. 2 copies of Mystic Mind to emphasize with the LTK. You want to play this going second. 1 copy of Terraforming to search for that Mystic Mind. 1 copy of Call by the Grave because you really don't like hand traps. I only cited because not all decks are running hand traps and not all decks rely on the graveyard. So just a heavy side. So that and Forbidden Droplets in case I'm going first or second. This is going really good going first or second because it serves as another infinite impermanence. It helps as a OTK helper. And we run 2 copies of Triple Tactics if you just want to go OTK the opponent. If you know for sure they're going first, then you just emphasize in all of your OTK cards like Lightning Storm. You go Sith Lord in the opponent, and yeah, you know what this card does by now. Unlimited power. And then Harpy's Feather Duster, because of that air bending. You destroy all spells and traps the opponent controls, and the Dimensional Barrier, because of tier limits, of Exo Sisters. You just want to slow them down as much as you can, especially heroes. So that'll be it for my side. I'm thinking of tweaking a little bit because I didn't use all of this in the tournament, but they're all very useful cards in their own rights. So I still use all of them, and I will still recommend that you use all of them. It's up to you how you want to adjust your side. You are the duelist, and as I always say, all decks are meta. It all depends on how the duelist unleashes their potential and power. And there are no rogue decks. And it's not just my opinion, it's a fact. Because there's a lot of decks I see top that are not in the rogues gallery. Or that are not in the tier 1 gallery. They're actually what you call rogue decks. And to me, there are no rogue decks, all decks are meta. That's my message to you guys before we close out. So thank you so much for waiting, guys. I really appreciate all your love and support. As always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And this wouldn't be possible without the team and without my audience. So thank you so much, guys. Happy spooky month, happy October, happy Halloween, however you prefer. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.